Hi guys. Anything better than a smoothie in the morning? Yum yum. This morning I got banana and red grapes and frozen raspberries. It's going to be yummy. Yummy. Okay, well you put the red ones in. Don't forget the bag, sweetheart. Can't leave that out there. Pardon? You alright? What happened? You can't go in the garden, sweetie.
You might get yourself pricked, Danielle.
You alright? You feeling sick? Now go to the toilet. Go to the toilet, sweetie.
I just need to go to the toilet.
Okay, we'll go get a drink, please. Go have you some water. Hey, baby.
Why is it so small?
Hocus Pocus, Hound. Oh goodness, this one's got 6 chapters. You know I'm not reading all 6 chapters, right?
Yeah.
Chapter 1. Marvo the magician was in a bad mood. He was trying out his latest trick, but it wasn't working very well. "Stop fidgeting," he shouted at his assistant Doris. She was sitting inside a big box with just her head popping out of the top, while Marvo tried to stick swords through the side. "Sit still," he thundered, but Doris couldn't sit still. She'd swigged 3 extra large milkshakes at lunchtime. Marvo," she said, "I think I need a wee." Marvo threw down the swords. "Nincompoop! You're the worst assistant in the world." Poor Doris. She wasn't a very good magician's assistant. She muddled up the magic cards and mislaid the magic wand, and whenever she was sawn in half, she would fidget and squirm. Secretly, she was a bit worried Marvo might decide not to put her back again together. Marvo had had enough. He yanked open the stage door. "Follow me," he shouted. "The first person I see when I leave this theatre will be my new assistant." But luckily for Doris, the street was empty, apart from a shaggy old dog eating scraps from a bin. "He'll do," bawled Marvo. Doris was astonished. "You can't have an old dog as your assistant," she gasped. But Marvo had decided. The old dog was his new assistant, and Doris was now dog's body to the Marvo and his new assistant. The dog was quite ugly. He was big and shaggy, with grey whiskers, and his coat was the colour of mud. Actually, it wasn't just the colour of mud, it was mud. But Doris did her best with a large sponge and some of Marvo's shampoo. The dog had also had extremely bad breath, long toenails, and a windy bottom. But Marvo didn't care, because the old dog was surprisingly clever. So while Doris sat and scrubbed rabbit poo out of Marvo's top hat, the dog learnt tricks. He learnt card tricks, hard tricks, stand on a box and fly tricks. He learnt to juggle with rings and do tricks with string. He learnt to pull flowers out of his ears and balance boiled eggs on his tail. He never muddled up the magic cards or mislaid the magic wand, and he certainly never squirmed when he was being sawn in half. Marvo was delighted. "Who says you can't teach an old dog a new trick?" he boomed. "I shall call him my Hocus Pocus Hound." The dog wagged his tail excitedly, then his windy bottom made a noise. "People will come from near and far to see him," said Marvo, holding his nose. And they did. Marvo the magician and his Hocus Pocus Hound was a sellout. "He's a million times better than you were," bragged Marvo to Doris, and I don't even have to pay him." Doris didn't mind. She never liked being Marvo's assistant anyway, and she had always wanted a dog. Whenever Marvo wasn't looking, she'd swap the cheap tins of dog food that Marvo bought for extra expensive super-sized sausages. Hocus Pocus Hound was delighted. Doris had a pet, and Marvo had lots of money. And that's where the tale might have ended fairly happily ever after. But then Marvo got greedy. "How did you get an apple out of the fridge, monster?" "Look at your brother." One night, just before he and Hocus Pocus Hound went on stage, Marvo went to find Doris. She was in the dressing room, shining Marvo's shoes. "I've decided I don't need you anymore," he told her. "You're fired." Doris was stunned. "But who'll iron your cape and polish the wands?" "Hocus Pocus Hound, of course," said Marvo. "I can teach you to do anything." The Hocus Pocus Hound was listening at the door. Didn't like the sound of that. He narrowed his eyes and growled. But Marvo wasn't finished. "And I know all about the sausages," snapped Marvo. "I'll be taking the cost of them out of your last wages." And with that he swept out of the dressing room. Doris was miserable. With a heavy heart she started to pack. Meanwhile, Marvo and Hocus Pocus Hound went on stage. It was their best show ever. Hocus Pocus Hound was on top form. He balanced on a ball while pulling a cat out of his top hat. Most daring of all, Hocus Pocus Hound allowed himself to be successfully sawn not in half, but in eighths. The audience was delighted, but Marvo wasn't finished yet. "Tonight," boomed Marvo to the audience, "my Hocus Pocus Hound will attempt a new trick. He will make me disappear." The lights went down. The audience was hushed. Marvo stepped inside a big green box. He waved to the audience, then pulled the door shut behind him. Hocus Pocus Hound, beautifully turned out in a top hat and tail, picked up Marvo's magic wand in his mouth and trotted over to the box. He bowed to the audience, then waved the wand 3 times in front of the box. There was a puff of pink smoke, a crash of thunder, and a faint smell of rotten eggs.
Whoa.
And suddenly, the door of the box creaked open. It was empty. Marvo had gone. He'd completely disappeared. The audience was impressed. There was a thunderous applause. People were on their feet. Hocus Pocus Hound wagged his tail. The audience cheered. Hocus Pocus Hound wags his tail again. The audience cheered some more. But then slowly the cheering and clapping stopped as they waited for Hocus Pocus Hound to bring Marvo back. But he didn't. Instead, he laid down on the stage and went to sleep. The audience pointed and whispered and shuffled in their seats. The theatre manager bit his nails and scratched his head, but Marvo still didn't reappear. Hocus Pocus Hound was now snoring.
Is that it? Is that all your tirade?
I don't think so. It is.
What was funny, Blake?
Betty! Oh.
Party, huh?
Oh, I want to butt that on the little bus.
Hi guys, so if you liked the video, please like it, share it, whatever. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And otherwise, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye.